benefit of aerobic activity in terms of fat reduction is not so much the calories you burn during exercise.
All right, I'll make that now. A lot of
All set, Ren? Huh?
Check the lighting.
Take me back, if you will, those number of years, and to the time when you decided to be an entrepreneur. Your father, your grandfather were entrepreneurs in the automobile business, but you decided to go into the bicycle business. What made you think, well, why not bicycles?
Well, when I was a child, I hung around the local Schwinn dealer, and you know, as I told you earlier, my family came from the mechanical side of things, so I thought that bicycles would be quite interesting. I always had an interest in them, and got into the retail bicycle business, and I found out that mechanics really wasn't what I wanted to do. What I really liked was sales and marketing. So, and I did quite good at that in the retail business for about 5 years before starting GT Bicycles with the other co-founder, Gary Turner.
Yeah, but it's got to be kind of small potatoes. I mean, here you have a little retail store. I mean, there's only so far you can grow, right? So that must have been somewhat of the inspiration to you to say, there's got to be a better way.
When we started GT Bicycles, I still had my bicycle store. I was also promoting bicycle motocross races. I had a whole lot of things going on. And when I met Gary, you know, we started the business in his garage, building frames. I found that, you know, manufacturing and dealing on the wholesale side of the business was more attractive, and obviously there was a significant more opportunity in that side of the business. So definitely that was part of the reason. Yeah. That we moved to.
A lot of big boys out there, a lot of people making bicycles. They've been making them for hundreds of years. Whatever made you think that a couple of guys in their garage could make a better bicycle? Come on.
We were fortunate to some degree. There was a new trend emerging. It was called bicycle motocross. Most of the people my age remember the old Stingray, the old Schwinn Stingray, the polo bike. And that's what kids rode for many years. But in the 70s, a new trend emerged called bicycle motocross. And GT Bicycles was on the edge of that trend. Gary Turner and myself, we had a very unique design frame, new concepts, new materials, new designs, you know, some of which are used even to this day: oversized tubing, thin wall chromoly steel, even aluminum. So we felt that there was an opportunity for our products. All the companies that were driving the business in those days and driving the trends, they weren't the big companies. They weren't the Schwinns, they weren't the Rosses, they weren't the Columbias. They were the GTs. They were the smaller shops that were building the innovative products. And we never thought about Schwinn or the other or the big guys in those days. We thought about building unique, creative products and market them to the public.
Money? Where'd you get money? How'd you do this? I mean, it's a good idea, but you're just a couple of guys in the garage.
Yeah. And that's basically what we were. We started GT Bicycles with less than $5,000 in cash. I had my retail store, but the actual money that we put into GT was about $5,000. How we started the business, the first breakthrough for us was when we convinced our material supplier that we were credit worthy, and we got that first credit line. We had no bank relationships, and that material supplier giving us material that we could, on extended terms, allowed us to cut, miter, weld that tubing and build frames and turn it around to our customers in a time period where we could finance the business. And we did that for about 5 years. The other side of it that helped us grow was our distributor customers. We started with distributors. You know, currently now we're selling direct to the retailers, but in those days we sold through distributors. And the reason we chose distributors because we had a better chance of getting paid, and they paid us you know, within 30 days, and that allowed us to turn our money. So we got real good turn on our material inventory and on on our receivables. And that's how we grew the business the first 5 to 7 years before we even started having bank
So right
relationships.
at this time, what really helped you was the fact that this just really took off with the public. The consumer wanted this kind of bike.
Yes, there was a market change, a market trend to a bicycle, motocross type of bicycle, and GT was on the cutting edge of that. And in those days, I did a lot of grassroots traveling myself. We had a team of riders. We traveled throughout the United States, building the image at the grassroots and building a desire from those young individuals to have our product. And so actually, we didn't do a lot of selling in those days. It was more marketing. We built a brand. We built an image. And through that, we created the sales from our retailers calling us or our distributors calling us and wanting the product because they knew there was a consumer demand for the product.
Brag a little bit about how far you've come. Give me an idea of the range of bicycles primarily is what I'm looking for. What do you build today?
Well, from our original garage shop operation, this team that we have in place today, it's not just Richard Long and Gary Turner. We have a lot of good managers now. We've built this into from a company that was doing less than $500,000 in revenues the first year to where now this last year we did roughly $170 million. We have 600 employees in the company. We're a multinational company. We have our own direct sales in France and Japan, and we plan on expanding that further in the future. We're selling approximately 600,000 complete bicycles a year now. And this is not only bicycle motocross. When mountain bikes became a trend, fat-tired bicycles, we were one of the leaders and are one of the leaders in that market. And we've also built a very strong base of parts and accessories. Parts and accessories, which complement the bicycles is also what we do.
Customize. In a sense. I mean, you customize yourself, right?
Right, but we're actually representing over 140 other manufacturers throughout the world. United States, Europe, and Asia manufacturers, we're representing their products in the marketplace and distributing them to the dealers. So we've got over 5,000 stock keeping units from 140 different manufacturers that we represent out there, besides our own proprietary products and our own bicycles.
In terms of bicycles, give us a range of the kind of product price range and also the product range.
Our entry-level models start roughly at $250 retail, and we go up to $4,000 retail. That's one thing, that's been one asset of the company, one thing that we do very well. We're not only able to sell the mid and entry-level products, but this company derives a lot of satisfaction and a lot of energy from developing new technology in materials, full suspension. Mountain bikes are hot today. So we're constantly re-innovating our products. We have over 100 different models of bicycles, and we redesign every single bicycle every year. And that can be everything from changing a few nuts and bolts or a few components to a complete new concept in something like full suspension or thermoplastic technology, etc. Product development and R&D is an important part of what we do here.
What's so special about your product? If you were selling me, why should I buy one of your bicycles?
Well, it would depend what price range that you're looking at. If you buy our upper end products, you're going to get the cutting edge of technology. If you're interested in a full suspension bicycle, you're going to get a full suspension system that's proven as the best full suspension system out there, the best technology that's available today. And when I say proven, we use competition as our proving ground. This past year, GT not only won the World Championships, but we also won the World Cup events on our full suspension bikes. If you want materials, we offer you chromoly steel, we offer you aluminum, we offer you titanium. One thing important, though, is not only technology, but at each price point, we offer the best price value out there. Price value is important also. Consumers want the most for their dollar. So we're using, fully integrated shifting systems from, companies like Shimano. We're using the best components available on the marketplace. And we're, as I said, redesigning each and every model to make sure that we're offering the best price value out there per price point.
If your wildest dream came true for this company, what would it be?
We would be the best, the biggest and the best in our industry. I think some of my wildest dreams have come true. You know, we're not the biggest, but I think that we are the best. We're the best in terms of providing products. We're the best in terms of providing service to our customers. It's a very enjoyable place to work for our employees and myself. And we've had a lot of fun doing it. So,
You ever scratch your head sometimes and say, how on earth did a couple of guys in their garage ever get to this? 170 million a year. This is. Would you ever look back and say, I had, in my wildest dream, I couldn't have imagined it?
I guess I have, but I'm not an individual to look back too much. This team is generally looking forward. We look back to, you know, see what's made us successful. We don't want to forget about our roots and where we've come from. You know, being in the retail business for me was a great experience because I can relate to our customer, the independent bicycle dealer. It helps me, it puts me behind the counter. Many of our other managers have been behind the counter also. But we tend to look forward and not tend to rest on our laurels, and I don't tend to think back. You know, it was a lot of hard work, perseverance, other good team employees and managers that came into the company. It's been a team effort, and Gary and I recognize that. So.
Gives you a sense of satisfaction to think that the big boys must kind of wonder, it's like, where did these guys come from?
We like that. If there's the only thing that gave us any concern at all was about being a public company was obviously we were opening our books and some of our strategies to our competitors. We like the fact that we basically came up behind them, you know, and before they knew it, we were right there with them. However, that hasn't really hindered us, and that really hasn't been a problem. We had some concerns about it. We found that that's not an issue because by the time they see what we are doing, they've deciphered it. We're on to doing something else.
Yeah.
So we're excited about being a public company, and it's been a big asset.
Mountains left to climb.
We have many. We have many. We're a significant player here in the United States as a supplier to the independent bicycle dealer and in the market channel of the independent bicycle dealer, but we have a lot of growth. We're working hard on our operations. We feel we are the service leader now, but the bicycle industry in the United States is far behind other industries, more professional industries. So even though we're the service leader, we don't consider ourselves world class. And we're working hard on our operations, working hard on our service levels to become even a bigger supporter of the independent bicycle dealer. In tune with that, the global market. To be a player now in our industry, you've got to be a global player. And we've got a significant amount of growth opportunities in the overseas markets. And it's basically the same here as the United States. You know, the standard blocking and tackling and service and bringing innovative products to the marketplace. So as we move forward, we're going to move more into direct position into Europe, Asia, and other markets. And so we see tremendous growth opportunities for the company and a lot of challenges in the future.
That's good. That's fine, right? That's a wide shot. Great.
So, and I respect him for that.
And here we asked him the question, like, how did you get, well, I was a surfer and I had to figure out what to do. I just got out of traveling around the United States in a beat-up Volkswagen and so on. And he says, I don't know anything, and I'm not very good at anything. They don't even let me in the tool shop. I don't know what those tools are. And they do all the work.
Yep,
So,
that's right.
hey.
You didn't have to bleep him, did you?
No,
Yeah. Anyway, we have good times in our tech meetings.
So
I
how
really-
many other guys do you have in that group?
It's about 10 total.
Yeah.
There's one lady and nine men in there.
Hmm.
And it's a good group. Diverse, large companies, public companies, closely held companies, a couple of smaller companies. So it's nice.
Hmm. What does the lady do?
Linda Lane is the executive vice president of the Coal Company. I don't know if you ever heard of the Coal Company, but they're huge. I don't know if they're $1 billion or 500 million or
Somewhere.
what.
swimwear?
No, Cole is into real estate.
Oh.
She does a human resources. They actually spun off and started doing human resources and training and everything. She's a very articulate, good
So
individual.
downsizing type of counselor type of thing, is that it?
No, they do training, all kinds of
Real
human
estate,
resources,
Sales training, marketing training?
hire and fire, all kinds of human resource training and things
So you
like
get
that.
some good insight there.
Yeah, she's very helpful. You met, we got a guy that Renaissance Doors and Windows, smaller company, South Coast Rehabilitation, and got an insurance guy in there, got a mortgage banker in there, you know, group. I enjoy it. I've only been in it about a year now, and I wish I had done it 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
think
But
I
it's tough
could've-
to make that kind of commitment.
Yeah, it
isn't
is. Yeah.
On the one hand, on the other.
Yeah, as I said, I'm basically an introvert. You know, I'm you know, I'm not always into that, but
Do you get to ride bicycles much?
not anymore. I used to ride a lot before I got into business.
Do a lot of travel?
Not as much as I should.
You ever met Patagonia? The guy out there, Patagonia?
No, I've read about him. Seems like a very interesting individual.
Fascinating. Really story about him.
Yeah.
Too, so. You okay there, man?
Yeah.
Family and
I have a wife and 2 sons. Both my sons are going to school here locally. My wife is pretty much runs the other business, which is my household. Nothing real exciting there. Just, you know, we lead kind of a quiet life, really, outside of the business.
they get to
They're
ride.
very supportive.
That's good. They get to ride some pretty good bikes. I bet.
Oh yeah, whenever.
Get their pick. Huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Have the
Sorry? Wait. Why not? Why? What are you doing up there? He's ready. He's gonna take a chance. Hey. Ready? Okay. Gonna take some pictures. Yeah. What is it? If you think the bicycle business has, and again, if you think the bicycle business is over the hill and just not happening, well, think again. More than 100 million Americans claim to be bike riders, a 25% increase from just the previous 10 years. And gearing up to buy ever better bikes year after year is a common practice, which GT has clearly tapped into. If you think the bicycle business is over the hill, and again, if you think the bicycle business is over the hill and just not happening, well, think again. More than 100 million Americans claim to be bike riders, a 25% increase in just the past 10 years. And gearing up to buy ever better bikes year after year is a common practice, which GT has clearly tapped into. One more. If you think the bicycle business is over the hill and just not happening, well, think again. More than 100 million Americans claim to be bike riders, a 25% increase in just the past 10 years. And gearing up to buy ever better bikes year after year is a common practice, which GT has clearly tapped into. No, we're on our way.